So hello children. Okay, let's start our revision. We completed the modules. We have finished all the record as per the syllabus, but let's do the textual exercises so that we become better equipped for the exam. And also let's have a quick recap of what we studied. I am to this video. Let's start with time, tenses and aspects. Okay, if you want a detailed version of it, it is available in the videos, the previous videos. You just have to go back and watch the video again. Okay, so time is a real world semantic concept that structures our existence. Languages characteristically use a grammatical system of tense to express time. English has only two grammatically encoded tenses, the present tense and the past tense. As users of English, we often need a grammatical device to use reference or to make reference to the way a particular event unfolds in time. This is called aspect. So what is aspect? Aspect is a grammatical category that reflects the perspective from which an action or situation is seen. That is, as complete, or whether it is in progress, or whether it is having, or what duration it has, its beginning, its ending, or whether it is being repeated. Okay, so that's called the aspect. English has two aspects, which is the progressive and also called continuous, and the perfect. So what is an aspect? Aspect is a grammatical category that reflects the perspective that reflects the perspective from which an action or a situation is seen. Okay, seen as complete or in progress, having duration, beginning, ending, or being repeated. And we have two aspects, and what are they? Progressive and perfect. Verbs that are not marked for aspect, see, majority of them are not, are said to be in the simple aspect. In British English, the perfective aspect, that is a perfect tense, is much more common than in American English. Since Americans often use the simple past, whereas British people, they mostly use the present perfect. The progressive aspect, either in the present or the past tense, generally refers to an action or an event in progress at a particular time, to an incomplete activity, or to a temporary state of affairs or a temporary habit. Okay, all this we have discussed in detail in our videos. Alright, so you don't have to worry too much about all these things that is written in your textbook. Then, what is tense? Tense is a term that refers to the way verbs change their form in order to indicate at which time a situation occurs or an event takes place. Now, for finite verb phrases, English has just one inflectional form to express time, and that is the past tense maker, that is the ed form for regular verbs. Therefore, in English, there is just a contrast between present and past. Time and tense are not overlapping concepts. The tense is related to time. There is no one-to-one correspondence between them. Tense is grammatical category rather than with reality. It has to do with how events are placed or seen or referred along the past, present, future timeline. Thus, a present tense does not always refer to the present time or the past tense to the past time. Actually, the present and past can refer to all the three segments of the timeline. That is, it can either be the past or the present or the future. We have discussed this, so you can just listen to the video about time and tenses, the difference between time and tenses. So you just don't get mixed up with the word time and tenses, because you know that certain times the present tense can be used to indicate a past action also, We did discuss all that. Okay. Strictly speaking, only two English tenses are marked by the inflection of the verb, and that is past and present. In the past, you add ed, and in the present, you add s. Right? Other tenses are just marked by auxiliaries, the be and the have forms. Past continuous, if it is past continuous, you have was and were, and then it is plus the ing form. And past perfect, you will use had plus talked, and past perfect tense had been talking. Present continuous, am or are or is talking. Present perfect, have or has talked, and so on. So just go through your textbook. I don't want to confuse you more. I am pretty sure that you have really understood the tenses. The videos were done in a very slow phase, taking each tense together, or just dealing with just one tense at a time. So I'm pretty sure that you may have understood the tenses much more than what is written in your textbook. So let's start with the simple present tense first. We'll just have a quick recap and then we'll move to the revision. Okay, our revision. Simple present tense. What is simple present tense and how do we make simple present tense? We make simple present tense by adding subject plus auxiliary plus the main verb, right? That is V1 plus it is just the V1 form of the verb. Okay, the V1 subject plus V1 form of the verb, and the exception is when it comes to he, she and it. In he, she and it you add an s, right? So there are three important exceptions again. For positive sentences, we do not normally use a separate auxiliary. We're not going to go into that here. It's quite confusing. So we'll just skip that. For example, now when do we use these tenses? When do we use simple present tense? We use simple present tense to show habitual actions, right? And universal truths for preferences and so on. All right. Like for instance, I live in Tokyo. The moon goes around the earth, or the sun, the earth revolves around the sun. The earth rotates on its axis. These are all universal truths or scientific facts. Joseph drives a taxi. Also, it's a habitual action, and so on. Okay, your preferences. I like ice cream. I do not like ice cream. Okay, do you like ice cream? So all these are different forms of simple present tense. Okay, now present continuous tense. Present continuous tense, how do you form the present continuous tense? Present continuous tense is formed with is or am or are plus the ing form. I am, you are, he is, she is, plus the ing form. I am working, you are working, he is working. All right. And what does it tend to show? It tends to show the action that is happening now. It can also show an action in the future. Okay. See, for example, the Prime Minister is leaving for China this month. So it's future, but we are using the present continuous tense because we are trying to show a very immediate action. All right, so we can use that. That's why I said time and tenses are overlapping. Don't think that present continuous tense means it is about something that happens only right now. No, it's not like that. So the concept of time and the tense has to be used using our common sense, in fact. Okay, they are overlapping at times. So we can use these tenses, like see the example that I gave you. The Prime Minister is leaving for China next week or next month means what? It shows an immediate action. All right. So an immediate action, and that too which is likely to happen soon, an immediate action, and you're using which tense? You're using the present continuous tense and not the future tense. Instead of saying he will be leaving for China next week, you use the present continuous tense. Okay. She is learning to drive, or we are eating in a restaurant tonight. So it's the ing form. Yeah. Now next you have the present perfect tense. Present perfect tense, you use present perfect tense with have and has. Right? So I have, you have, but he has, she has, it has. That's what you have to bear in mind. Okay, I have, you have, we have, they have, children have, but he has, she has, it has, the child has. So singular, and that too, the third person singular, you use what? Has. And for the rest of which, you use have. Clear? So, we use this tense to talk about a continuing situation. This is a state that's started in the past and continues in the present and will probably be continuing for some time in the future. So for this we usually use the present perfect tense. Now how do we form this present perfect tense? I have seen that movie 10 times. The rain hasn't stopped. Nobody has ever climbed that mountain. Now nobody is treated singular, third person singular. That's why we say nobody has. It's not nobody have. Nobody, anybody, somebody, all these are treated singular. So singular, third person singular, what do we use? Has. When it comes to third person singular, we use has. So nobody has ever climbed that mountain. My English has really improved since I moved to Australia, whatever. Okay, so the present perfect tense. Present perfect tense, you use which one? Have and has with the V3 form of the verb. Okay. See, I have seen that movie. See, so the V1 form is see. V2, that is the simple past form, is saw. And what is the V3 form, the participle form? Seen. See, saw, seen. Right? Eat, ate, eaten. I have eaten. So in the present perfect tense, you use the V3 form. That's why I told you to study it by heart. That table, you have to study it by heart in order to write the present perfect tense properly. You go wrong there, the whole tense is gone wrong. Okay, so you have to study that the participles by heart. Okay, so I have seen, not I have saw. I have seen that movie 10 times. I have eaten. Okay, not I have ate. I have eaten. Okay, just those things that you have to bear in mind. Then you have the present perfect continuous. So present perfect continuous, what you do is, along with have and has, all you do is you add been plus ing. Okay, I have been working. Okay, he has been working. So here, in this tense, there is always a connection with the present and the now. Alright, that is an action that has just stopped or recently stopped, or it can be an action continuing up to now. Okay, he is tired because he has been running. Okay, now he is tired. You look at him, he is tired because he has been running. So it's an action that has recently stopped. Remember watering the garden? Yes. So those examples, all you have to do is just revise those examples. Just go back to the video. Just look at the video and you will understand. Okay. So how do you form the tense? Have or has plus been plus ing form. Jeremy has been writing articles on different topics since morning. He has been shopping in that market for 3 hours. I have not been watching the cricket match for an hour. his mom has been cooking for 3 hours, and so on. So it is something to do with the present or the now, and it can be an action that has just stopped or recently stopped, or an action that is continuing up to now. Okay, all right. And there are clue words. I also told you about the clue words. All day, how long, since, for. All these are clue words which will help you analyze whether it is in the present perfect, continuous or not. Okay. Now, then we shall just quickly do some exercises on the present tense. Okay. We'll just, not the exercises, we'll just read through few examples. Okay, let's start with a simple present. Simple present, for instance, I like ice cream. I do not, if it's a negative sentence, I do not go to work every day. We do not swim on Sundays, or we swim on Sundays. Do I go to work every day? It's a question. If it's so if you want to ask a question form, if you want to ask in a simple present question form, do I go to work every day? Do you like coffee? Or would you like to have coffee? Yeah? So that's with would. Would you like to have some coffee? So present simple, few examples. Before we move on to a few examples, let me just quickly tell you again, we use simple present to talk about things in general. We're not thinking about only now. It's not just what is happening now. Okay, it's not in the sense of present, but we use it to say something that happens all the time or repeatedly, or that something is true in general. It is not important whether the action is happening at the time of speaking. So, for example, nurses look after patients in hospitals. I usually go away at weekends. The earth goes around the sun. All right. And do remember, when it comes to he, she, it, don't forget to add the S. All right. I work, but he works. They teach, but my sister teaches. They is plural, but my sister is singular. So in the third person, singular, what should we do? We have to add the S. So you shouldn't forget the S. Adding S for he, she, it, and names as of singular, my sister. Okay? Alright. Now, we use do or does to make questions and negative sentences in simple present. Alright. So, do I work? Do they work? I do not work. Okay, they do not work, and so on. I come from Canada. Where do you come from? All right. Would you like a cigarette? No thanks, I don't smoke. What does this word mean? Okay, no, you shouldn't say what means this word. Instead, what does this word mean? Now, there is always a tendency to ask what means this word, because means is in the simple present form. All you have to do is add an S to the verb, right? So here you have a tendency to do that, but that is incorrect. What should you do? You have to use, when you're using a question or a negative sentence, we have to add do or does. What does this word mean? Rice doesn't grow in cold climates. Okay, and so on. Certain times this do become the main verb also. Okay, the verb it doesn't form as the auxiliary, but in fact it becomes the main verb. And for example, what do you do? The do in the last do there is asking you what's your job. So that do is performing the main function, the function of a main verb. All right. Then
he is so lazy, he doesn't do anything to help me. See, he doesn't do. So doesn't here is auxiliary, whereas the do after doesn't becomes the main verb. So there are certain times when it functions as the main verb also. Now we use the present simple when we often say, or when we say how often we do things, like everyday actions. I get up at 8 o'clock every morning. How often do you go to the dentist? Anne doesn't drink tea very often. In summer, John usually plays tennis. Okay. Anne speaks German very well. Anne speaks, right? So Anne is third person singular. That's why we shouldn't forget to add s to it. So Anne speaks German very well. I never drink coffee. The swimming pool closes at 9 o'clock and opens at 11:30 every day. Okay. The swimming pool opens at 9 o'clock and closes at 10:30 in the evening every day. Bad driving causes many accidents. My parents lives in a very small flat. The Olympic Games take place every 4 years. The Olympic Games take place every 4 years. Okay. Now Jane doesn't, if it's a negative sentences, Jane doesn't drink tea very often. What time do the banks close in Britain? What time do the banks? Okay, it's not does, it is do the banks. Banks is plural, so you use do. Then where does Martin come from? Okay, where does Martin come from? What do you do? All right. Then that means what is your profession? It takes me an hour to get to work. All right. I play the piano. I don't understand this sentence. What does this mean? Okay. Likewise, few more sentences could be: the earth goes around the sun. Rice doesn't grow in Britain. Bees make honey. Bee makes honey, but bees make honey. Vegetarians eat meat. A vegetarian eats meat, but vegetarians eat meat. Okay. Then a liar is someone who does not tell the truth. A liar is someone who does not tell the truth. All right. So likewise, you can frame more sentences in simple present tense and try to do it. You should frame sentences using do and does to make questions and negative sentences, and also try to make sentences using, or say, when you make sentences about things in general, when you're talking about things in general, okay, or the habitual actions. You can also use your preferences, your likes and your dislikes, all that. Okay, so try to make as many sentences as possible so that you get the hang of this simple present tense. And again, let me remind you, don't forget the s in the third person singular: he, she, it, names, and the name as in singular. Okay. Now a few examples in present continuous. In present continuous we add am or is or are plus the verb plus the ing form of the verb. Yes. So for example, the water is boiling. Okay. Listen to those people. What language are they speaking? Let's go out. It isn't raining now. Don't disturb me, I'm busy. Why? What are you doing? What are you doing? I'm going to bed now. Good night. Maria is in Britain at the moment. She is learning English. So what is happening here? You use the continuous or the present continuous for something that is happening at or around the time of speaking. The action is not finished. Action is not complete. I am going to bed. I'm only going to bed. I haven't started. I'm going to bed. Okay, good night. So don't disturb me. I'm busy. Why? So they ask you, what are you doing? So what are you doing right now? You are busy. What is the matter? Okay. So let's go out. It isn't raining. It isn't raining now. Okay. The water is boiling. Can you turn it off at the present? Okay. So it is a we use this for something that is happening at or around the time of speaking. You also use it for a temporary situation. You are working hard today. Okay. Yes, I have got a lot to do, so I am working hard today. So it's a temporary situation. Alright. Okay. So the ing form. Don't forget the ing form and is and are or am plus the ing form. So in the present perfect tense, what do we do in the present perfect tense? We use have or has plus the V3 form of the verb. For example, I have got a motorbike, but I haven't got a car. Mr. and Mrs. Harris haven't got any children. It's a nice house, but it hasn't got a garden. Have you got a camera? No, I haven't. What have you got in your bag? Has Anne got a car? Yes, she has. What kind of car has she got? Okay. And in negative sentences and questions, you can also use do and does in present perfect tense also. For example, they don't have any children. It's a nice house, but it doesn't have a garden. That we discussed now. Does Anne have a car? How much money do you have? So you can also use have and has, do and does along with the present perfect tense. Okay. Then, so what's the rule? The rule is adding have and has plus the V3 form of the word. I have eaten. She has broken her arm. He has broken the window pane. He has studied his lessons. Okay. And then we have got our passports. Then I have something in my eye. Then animals, like they for example, Sarah hasn't got a car. She goes everywhere by bicycle. They like animals. They have got 3 dogs and 2 cats. Charlie isn't happy. He has a lot of problems. So I hope you understood where to use these tenses. Okay. So simple past. In simple past we use the ed form, and it is to speak about the past action. Okay. Then for in this past continuous you use was or were plus the ing form. In past perfect tense, we add the past perfect tense. That is what then that is something that we had a detailed video about. So past perfect tense is used to indicate two actions that happens together, and it is normally used with had plus v3 form of the verb. Now if you don't have two actions, if it's just one action, we use the past perfect tense, that is she had finished her work. That's just one action. Okay, we had not left the school, but then we had not left the school, that indicates that we are still in school and the action of going home has not taken place. So anyway, we had not left the school. Had they eaten their dinner? All these are past perfect tense. Now see, had they eaten their dinner? Eaten, v3 form of the verb. Okay, so always remember, it is mostly used when you have two actions taking place. Thomas had established his company before 2008. Had established his company. The teacher asked if we had studied for the exam. The teacher asked. So that's the second action. If we had studied for the exam. Studying for the exam is the first action. Using your common sense. Alright. So the action, you have to prepare for the exam. Right. So the teacher asked is the second action, which carries the simple past, and the first action normally carries the past perfect tense. So the teacher asked if we had studied for the exam. My neighbor asked if we had seen her cat. We wished she had seen her friend. She wished she had seen her friend. Again, two actions taking place. She wishing and wishing what? Wishing to have seen her friend. So two actions here. She wished she had seen her friend. He had just left the scene when the ambulance arrived. Two actions taking place. So first action always carries these past perfect tense. The second action carries the simple past. You have the signal verbs already, never, just, if. All these are before, after. All these are clue words. Then you have the past perfect tense. Past perfect tense is adding had been plus the ing form. I had been working. So it expresses longer action in the past before another action takes place in the past. For example, they had been talking for an hour before Mary arrived. Michael had been working at that company for 3 years when it went out of business. How long had you been waiting to get on the bus? Sam wanted to sit down because he had been standing all day at work. Jack had been teaching at the university for more than a year before he left for Korea. The restaurant's fantastic dinners had been being prepared. Had been being. Okay, being is the main verb. Had been being prepared by Chef Mike for 2 years before he moved to Australia. Alright, so had been plus the ing form. Okay, then you have the simple future. Simple future is adding will plus the v1 form. I will work, you will work. He will not eat fish. Will John write this? I will, he will, we will not. Maybe maybe we will stay and watch television together. It will rain tomorrow. I will be home tomorrow. He will carry your bag for you. You can also use the verb contraction. He'll carry your bag for you. Shall I open the window? Vincent will complete her first novel this October. I will meet her later. Will it be cold? All these are simple future tense. And you have the future continuous tense. Future continuous tense is will be working. That is will be plus ing form. I will be playing hockey at 5 p.m. tomorrow. He will not be having dinner at home. Will they be watching TV? It's a question form. So they now if you look at more examples, they They will be playing hockey in that field on Thursday. The poet will be writing a romantic poem for the program. The lyricist will be writing a realistic song for the film. Will you be going to the concert of realistic songs? I will be attending the program because of my busy. I will not be attending the program because of my busy schedule, and so on. Then you have future perfect tense. Future perfect tense, you can use I will have worked. It expresses an action in future before another action takes place, or before another action takes place in future. And the structure is will have plus the V3 form. Will have plus the V3 form. I will have eaten lunch. I will have finished when you arrive. She will have forgotten everything, or you can use the verb contraction also. She'll have forgotten everything. They will have had their dinner by then. Will have had. Yeah, had is the main verb. Okay. Anthony won't have arrived by then. They won't have finished the car repair tomorrow. Okay, and then you have the future perfect continuous tense. How do you use the future perfect continuous tense? I will have been working. This is used to talk about an action before some point in the future. Okay, and it is I will have been plus ing form. For example, she will not have been using the car. Will they have been watching TV? They will have been eating fruits. I won't have been eating meat. Okay. Job will have been studying in the library before he comes to the class. Mike will have been joining us at the meeting before you reach. I will have been arranging at all the necessary materials before the program starts. So let's do some exercises. What you have to do is fill the gaps with correct tenses or the correct tense forms. Okay, she has been dashed music all day. The word is listen. She has been dashed music all day. The word is listen. She has been listening. Has been listening. Okay. Then, do you still dash tennis? The word is play. Do you still dash tennis? The word is play. Do you still play tennis? John dash in a bank. John dash in a bank. The word is work. John works in a bank. He dash classical music to Western. The word is prefer. He prefers classical music to Western. Those bundles dash in a big truck. Those bundles are delivered in a big truck. Those bundles are delivered in a big truck. Be quiet. The baby dash. The word is sleep. Be quiet. The baby is sleeping. Don't forget to take the umbrella. It dash rain. Don't forget to take the umbrella. It will rain. Every Monday, Millie dash her kids to cricket practice. The word is drive. Every Monday, Millie drives her kids to cricket practice. Yesterday, he dash a donut. Yesterday, the word is eat. Yesterday, he ate a donut. I met her while I dash a training course. I met her while, the word is do. I met her while I was doing a training course. Okay. Then next one, you are to change these tenses. In brackets, they have asked you to change the tense. to a particular tense. Now she will be writing her exam tomorrow. You are supposed to change it into past continuous. So how will you change? She will be writing her exam tomorrow should be changed into past continuous. So it will be she was writing her exam. What will so you'll have to change tomorrow to yesterday. Okay, it is past continuous. So you'll have to change not just the verb or not just the verb, but also this sentence also needs revision. Okay, or you have to change the sentence accordingly. So tomorrow will become yesterday. Don't forget that. He will be waiting for us. You have to change it into present continuous tense. So present continuous tense, he is waiting for us. So he will be waiting for us will change to he is waiting for us. She knows this. What you have to do is you have to change this into simple past. She knows this should be changed to simple past. So how do you do that? She knew this. Okay. I am leaving for Delhi tomorrow. How do you change it into the future continuous? Future continuous. I will be leaving for Delhi tomorrow. He will not pass the test. Change it to future perfect. He will not have passed the test. Okay. Future perfect. So he will not pass the test. He will not have passed the test. Okay. Then he will not have thought about this. You have to change this into present perfect. He will not, he will have thought about this. You have to change this into present perfect. He has thought about this. Okay, present perfect. He has thought about this. Then she did not want to go. You have to change this into simple present. She did not want to go. So she does not want to go. Okay, she did not want to go is in the past. So to change it in a simple present, she does not. Did will change to does. She does not want to go. Then he hadn't thought about that. He hadn't thought about that. You have to change it to simple past. He did not think about that. Simple past. Did not. Okay. Then she wanted to know more about him. You have to change this into simple present tense. She wanted to know more about him has to be changed into simple present. So simple present. So she wants to know more about him. Then she will not accept his proposal. Change it into simple past tense. She will not accept his proposal. Change it into simple past tense. She did not accept his proposal. Okay, so that's how you change, and that's how you will be asked for your exam also. So it is advisable that you do a few exercises on this, changing it into different tenses. If you get to study the rule or the formation well, you will not have any difficulty in doing so. So thank you and keep safe.